Hello, hello. My name is Kevin Pettigrew, and this is 3 a.m. Pillow Talk. We have Matthew Boulter on for the second time. This is the second round with us. I think we did our last one 4 or 5 weeks ago. He started the nonprofit Sober Dads. And hey, Matt, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a little while.
It's
What
been a
is
few
before we
weeks.
jump into what is new for anyone who does not know who you are? Can you give us a little bit of brief background and what you did with it?
Yeah. So my sobriety journey started 3 years ago, February 2nd of 2022. So 2/2/22. I got into this really bad car accident. Like most people, I realized my addictions took everything, right? Shattered relationships, destroyed hopes, destroyed houses,
Yeah,
destroyed everything. Like, burned it all to hell, right? So for me, what really helped was getting into a really bad car accident, and you say that out loud, and you're like, how the hell did that help you, right? But
yeah.
um, those that struggle in addiction, man, they kind of realize you got to get the shit kicked out of you, and unfortunately, hit rock bottom before you can really
Well,
turn it around.
you know what? Coming from an evolutionary perspective, we're negative biased, so it always takes something stupid for us to listen, or for us to.
Yep.
We could learn generations before us try to teach us something, and we're just like, well, we're the fucking exception. Fuck you, and then we burn everything. Like it takes something like that. Sometimes that's we're human.
Yeah. You know, you go to school, right? And they teach you, and you can learn. But what's the quickest way to learn? Put your hand on the hot iron, and you don't want to ever touch that shit again. You know what I mean?
And that's the
Dude,
funny
you can
thing. We've all done it. They've all told us, don't touch that. And every one of us has burned our fucking hand at some point.
fucking burn the hand, and you're like, ow, and you don't want to do it again. We
Yeah,
can drink, we can do drugs, and everyone's like, those are bad. And we're like, nah, we got it. Until
yeah,
one day you realize you don't got it. So I got into that bad accident, and that's the catalyst that created Sober Dads. I created Sober Dads 3 years ago. It started out as a Facebook group, a bunch of dads getting together, hanging out, and just supporting one another. And it turned into me teaching dads how to be present in life
okay,
with their kids and for themselves.
okay,
And so I truly mean sober dads. This is
yeah,
not a men's group. We're not fucking hanging out with a bunch of dudes in a room. Like,
yeah,
that's cool for AA and that's
yeah,
cool for your therapist, but that's not what we are. We are sober dads. Everything we do is with our kids.
yeah,
And that's, for me, anyways, that's the special part. That's the part that makes this whole thing work.
yeah,
Um, is knowing now what I know about my kids that I didn't know 3 years ago. My kids are 9 and 12. So when you hear that out loud, think about that. I'll say it again.
okay,
Knowing what I know now about my kids than I did 3 years ago. So up until 3 years, I really didn't know my kids, man. I was there. People would say I'm a great dad, man. Matthew is always there. He always goes to his kids' school. He goes to their functions. He
yeah,
goes to their games. I participated, but I never asked questions. I
yeah.
never was there. I never was present. I was on my phone. I was drinking. I was smoking in the car before I got out of the car to go to the school function. Like, I wasn't present.
You
And
there's it's always been kind of taboo, right? It's never been a real mainstream thing, and I have never seen anybody else frame it the way you are, to where it's dads and their kids. Like you have recovery groups, you got sobriety groups, you got AA, you got this, you got that. You got moms group. You got a million mamas groups. But I've never the first that I've seen like this. I've never seen anything like this. What you're doing is different.
I mean, bro, like if people just saw us together, they would think we're like fucking sober gym buddies. You know what I mean? Because I'm a bodybuilder, you're a bodybuilder. Like if people fucking saw us on the street, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, they hang out and they probably work out together. They're probably like a group of a fitness sober group." And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like the gym, bro, I was fucking drinking and doing massive amounts of drugs while I was competing. The gym was not my sobriety.
Yeah.
My kids are my sobriety. We have a Rockies game that sober dads just bought 9 tickets for, and that's what we're doing this Sunday. And dude, I'm so excited to go to a Rockies game with my kids, bro. To
That's
get the
badass.
baseball glove out, try to hopefully catch a pop fly, to talk to my kids about what their favorite player is, and
Yeah.
you know the smells, and to talk to them about the smells. To go buy peanuts and crush the peanuts and throw them on the floor and have your kids be like, "Can you really throw them on the floor, Dad?" And be like, "Yeah, bro, throw them on the floor." Like they're
Yeah.
gonna think that's so cool.
That's a memory.
And that's like that's what sober dads is, bro. We are dads. And
Okay.
everything we do with our kids, we do with other dads. So when a dad is struggling in sobriety, they don't struggle with their kids. They struggle alone.
Yeah.
And when you come to a sober dads event, the difference is you're not alone.
Yeah.
But you're not with a bunch of other dads.
Yeah.
You're with a couple of dads and a shit ton of kids.
Yeah.
And bro, the difference that you feel when you are around your kids and a bunch of other guys' kids, you don't want to be a fucking asshole. You don't want to be hammered. You
Yeah.
don't want to smoke. You don't want to drink. You don't want to do a line of coke. You're
Yeah.
definitely not going to fucking pull out a bump and be like, "Hey guys, anybody want this?"
Yeah.
Because you got a bunch of fucking kids around,
Yeah.
you know?
You kind of change the setting of it, and it kind of changes. It's kind of like your environment.
Yeah, dude, it's the best feeling in the world, man. Like, bro, how many of your friends would you hang out with, just the guys, and you'd be like, "Let's bump, let's do a line, let's fucking whatever," right? And same dudes, the
Yeah.
same dudes. You guys would have a barbecue, and all the kids were there, not just yours, not just one. All the kids were there. You were less likely to do certain things. You might have a beer, right? Because that's society. You could have a
Yeah.
beer.
That's
And
just
in
kind of,
Colorado, you can have a joint now. You can hit the pipe, right? And you can smoke. And in front of your kids is, okay.
that's kind of taboo.
But you certainly weren't doing fucking lines in the kitchen with all the kids there.
Do you
And
think? Do you think that that's a big part of your sobriety? Do you think
that's all of it.
that
That's
is?
every. That's all of it, bro. That's it. That's it. Um, my kids. I became present at life. Let's talk about that. What is being present? What is being present? Is being present being on your fucking phone? When your kids are in the car and you're driving in the car, is being present listening to music? No. Is it being on your phone while your kids are on their phone? No. You got a 15-minute drive home. What is being present? Being
Yeah.
present is asking them questions. How was your day?
Yeah.
Tell me 3 good things that you did today that you'll remember. Tell me 2 bad things that you didn't like about the day. And
Yeah.
talk about those bad things. Find solutions for them. That's
Yeah.
being present. Asking them what they want for dinner,
That
asking
that
them what they had for breakfast,
that
asking
definitely
them what they did the weekend before.
that's definitely not like fucking when I was a kid. That was
Bro,
I think that was unheard of. It's still unheard of in a lot of places today, probably with dads anyway.
yeah, dude. And I'm telling you, bro, when you're present, you will see life in a completely different way.
Yeah.
So that's the main focus of sober dads, is to teach dads to be present. Okay. Now, the second focus is intention.
Okay.
We wake up every day with intention.
Explain.
what is that intention?
Yeah.
Are you gonna plant good, healthy seeds and bear healthy, good, tasty fruit? Or are you gonna fucking plant negative seeds? Did you wake up today and say, man, my fucking boss was a piece of shit yesterday and fuck this guy, I'm gonna call in? Is that
Yeah.
a good intention? Is that going to plant and bear good fruit? Or is
Yeah.
that going to plant bad fruit? Man,
So
fuck those moms, dude. They've been fucking pissing me off the last couple of days. I don't feel like co-parenting today. Fuck the moms.
so
Is
you're
that a good intention or is
so
that a bad intention?
what I'm hearing is what you're saying is kind of start the day out with gratitude.
You know, you I, I I don't care what it is. You could
Yeah.
start the day. You could call me and be like, "Fuck the world, Matthew."
Yeah.
That's intention. At least you understand what intention is,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
some people, here's the kicker. Some people go, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing today. They got
Yeah.
no goals, they got no aspirations. They cannot move forward in their day because they don't have a game plan.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't care if your game plan is a shit storm. We can work with it. We can work with it.
All
If I
right.
call you up or you call me up and the five things that you have to do today is fucking piss off your mom, piss off your ex-wife, quit your job and uh, do insurance fucking fraud by blowing up your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first thing I'm gonna say to you is, fucking way to go, bro. Did you write this down? Yeah, Matthew, I wrote this down. Bro, you fucking made a game plan today.
Yeah.
Like that took work. Now now let's try to, maybe see if we can't change the game plan a little bit.
That steers
Um
that energy into a different direction. Yeah.
and maybe a little more positive,
And you
right?
know, it's funny, you said plant seeds. There's a Buddhist saying that I love that's stuck in my head for years now. That you plant your seed to grow a flower, because what you're doing is you're trying to change, you're trying to grow that tree, you're trying to get the fruit, but every day you still have to pull weeds.
You got to pull weeds and you got to water it, bro.
Yeah.
You got to water it. You got to talk to it. You got to provide it sun. What is
Yeah.
sun? Sun is positivity. What is water? Water is work.
Yep.
Water is work. If you want to water your plant, if you want to see it grow, you got to work.
Yep.
But sun is positivity, and if you don't provide positivity, you're not going to provide any sunlight. It's never going to grow.
Yep.
So when you plant your seeds, like it's and the same thing. Like let's say you say fuck your co-parent for one day,
Yeah.
right? Well, if you want those seeds to continue planting in a never fashion, then you got to keep being an asshole to them. And that still takes work, bro. So I try to teach guys. I'm like, okay, we're going to be an asshole today. Are you going to be an asshole again tomorrow and the next day and 5 days from now? And sooner or later, they're like, well, no. I'm like,
Yeah.
so then let me get this straight. You want to be an asshole today, right? Because they pissed you off and you want to tell them to go fuck off and not give them the kid, or you guys are supposed to show up at 5 p.m. and you're going to show up at 5:30 just to piss them off. Okay. Um, like let's run down the fucking 3 days from now. Like what's the outcome? You just want to piss
Do,
them off? Well, like, you know,
do you
can we
ever
look at this in a different way? Like, if
do
you
you
want
ever run
to,
into do you ever run into people with bad habits that have already been kind of doing that?
well, most of us sober dads have bad habits.
Well,
Hence
yeah,
why
but
we're
I mean more like how do you because those are weeds. Those are what I think about weeds when you plant your seed, right? Because
yeah,
in bodybuilding you have this thing called homeostasis
yep,
where your body doesn't want to put on muscle, right? But if you put on muscle, you put on 10 pounds, you hold that 10 pounds for a year, you found a new homeostasis.
yep.
But after 30 or 40 years of bad habits, that's what I think of as the weeds, as you're pulling the weeds, and you got to keep on kind of keeping on with those bad habits.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about bad habits. Bad habits change overnight when you change the top 5 that you run with.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're the sum. You're the sum of the five people. Yeah,
so the one thing, and that's one of the reasons why I started Sober Dads.
yeah,
I don't hang out. Okay, I'll be honest with people, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't hang out with a lot of sober dads until they get their shit together.
okay,
Like I'll be honest with them. I'm down to help people, right? You
yeah,
can be fucking trash, and I am going to help you because you are a sober dad who is sober for 48 hours, and you have called me up and asked me for help. So
yeah,
by God, I am there to help you. But
yeah.
we're not hanging out. We're not friends.
Okay,
Like, if you want to be my friend, you got to earn that shit. If you want
okay.
to be on my top 5 list, you better be fucking calling me up just as much as I call you. You better have positive fucking vibes. We better be talking about the stock market or businesses or making money or things to do with our kids. You better be contributing to the relationship somehow. Like, you
So,
can't, you got to be pulling your fucking weight, bro. You
so
know?
that's a way also for you to protect yourself, or protect your peace, or protect your sobriety.
100%, man.
Yeah,
It's,
no, that's good. That's
the
that
the
works.
habits won't be there when you change your top 5.
Okay.
And that's one of the things when I work with people, that's one of the first things I talk about. Most guys are like, we're about to get a divorce, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're playing the blame game, we're doing all this. And I don't even fucking go on to that dumb shit. And I just say, well, who are your top 5 people, bro?
Yeah, yeah,
Because honestly, man, if you were hanging out with me, you guys wouldn't be in this fucking mess, or you wouldn't be hanging out with me.
yeah.
Because if you guys were really hanging out with me, we would be hanging out. And for the first part, you guys wouldn't be going to the bar like you're doing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So
I
that
got that.
habit would be gone. The
Yeah.
second part, you guys wouldn't have this financial fucking burden because you and I would be talking all the time, and you would be going to your significant other with, "Hey babe, we got to put $5 into this stock," or "Hey babe, this is what's going on," or "Hey babe, I'm gonna wake up at 6 today because we're gonna go do the incline, or we're gonna go to the gym, or we're taking the kids for a hike, or we're doing all these different like." You wouldn't have time to be doing the dumb shit that you guys are currently doing.
So,
You
so what are some of the hurdles you've run into while you were building Pivotal? What hurdles have you had?
Your biggest hurdle, man, is going to be changing your top 5. It's the biggest hurdle is boundary setting,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you tell the kids to clean your room or there will be consequences, you also need to tell yourself, if you don't clean that room, meaning if you don't get rid of this person in your life, there
Yeah.
are consequences. The
Have you
difference.
had have you had any hurdles while building the organization itself?
Yeah, dude. I mean, bro, you don't want to cut girls out of your life because you're scared. There's fear. You don't want to cut certain people out of your life because there's fear.
Yeah.
Um, you don't want to be alone. They say the number one hindering, um, if you believe in manifestation, the number one, the very first thing, the most powerful thing that will stop a manifestation in its tracks is fear. It's
Yeah,
fear.
that's our
Fear.
basic human emotion. We
Yeah, fear.
we make more decisions based on fear than anything else.
Yeah, and here's the cool thing. The fucking serenity prayer teaches you not to be afraid. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You
Yeah.
don't fucking have to be afraid.
Yeah.
Like, here's the deal, man. I don't know if I'm going to pay my rent every month, but I'm not afraid. Like, I mean, if I lose this place, I'm not homeless.
Yeah.
I can go stay with someone. I can go move back to Texas and stay with my mom. Like,
Yeah.
is it the end of the world? No. Is it going to suck for a minute? Yeah. But, like, bro, I could fucking lose this place, which is already costing me a shit ton of money, And I could go move back to Texas in the next 6 months. I could end up with a 6-figure salary or some shit. You never fucking know. Like,
So
don't be afraid.
how does sober dads keep the lights on?
Donations. It's
Okay.
100% donation based. I started a thrift store, um, but until I get a retail spot established, sales have been tough, and I can't do everything myself. And when a dad calls me and asks me for bunk beds or a kitchen table or a nightstand, I can get those for those guys in 72 hours and bring them to their house, or they pick them up. But I have noticed, at least in Colorado, um, things on Marketplace don't go for what they're worth. Bro,
Okay.
I got a beautiful, beautiful seven rifle, long rifle gun case. It's a $300 glass locking gun case. I can't even sell it for $30, bro. Can't even sell it for $30. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, you know. So I don't. I'm not putting my focus into the thrift store until I actually have the funds to get a retail place, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, the focus is on what we do, which is events.
Okay.
And how do
Okay.
we do those events? Through donations.
Okay.
So
And you have
I'm
so you have memberships. You have talk about memberships for me.
so yeah, bro, that's one of the things when we first talked, I started this
Yeah.
whole membership process, but I've learned a lot, man, in the last 5 weeks. When I first started Sober Dads, we had over 1,000 group members. We had over 1,000 group members. And
Okay.
anytime I posted something, we had a huge following. And then I shut that down. I deleted all the members and I made it a private group just for people that paid the membership fee. There is a membership, guys. It's $25 a year.
Okay.
$25. It gives you unlimited shopping at the thrift store. You don't pay a thing. If you need a fucking 40-inch TV, I find it for you and it's free. You don't ever pay for anything. You get to
Okay.
come to all the events for us, with us, for free. The 9 tickets to the Rockies game, free. The tickets
Yeah.
to the Unicorn Festival, free. The tickets to everything I do, free. That's all free for members. Okay?
Okay.
Members also get a membership card, and after their first year of sobriety, they get a sobriety coin, which is
Okay.
fucking bad. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you get for a membership. But I realized that that's not what Sober Dads is about.
Okay.
Sober Dads is about hanging out with other sober dads with your kids, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so you if you want a membership card, it's $25 for the year. If you want to volunteer, come volunteer, become a member. It's $25 a year, and please help us volunteer. If
Yeah.
you want to shop at the thrift store, you buy one nightstand for me, it's $20. You might as well give me 25 and become a fucking member, and then
Yeah.
whatever you ever need, I'll get for you for free. But
Yeah.
I've opened I've opened everything back up. Now
Okay.
I got my if you go to Sober Dads on Facebook, you go to Sober Dads of Colorado in the group. It's a public group again. We
Yeah.
have 127, no, 130 people now, and
Okay.
I'll get back up to 1,000 very quickly. I literally just changed that 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Um, it I don't give a shit about memberships, right? Like the membership is to help. That's why I started. I was like, we're gonna get all these members. It's gonna be $25 a year. All this extra money is gonna come in. We're gonna be able to do great things with it. Yes, all true. But I don't give a fuck about who's a member and who's not. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
when we become so huge, right? When we
Yeah.
become the American Red Cross of sober dads, like when we are 10,000 strong, then there are going to be all types of reasons why you want the membership card. Okay?
Okay.
There's going to be There's going to be all types of reason why you want a man card. Sober Dads of Colorado. There's going to be all
Okay.
types of reasons. You're going to have this in your pocket, and you're going to get free educational advice. You're going to get free trading advice. Right now, my sober dads, I contact them who are members and I give them stocks to invest in because I have a multimillionaire who's got a freaking Maserati, who's got a Lamborghini in his driveway, and he calls me up on a weekly basis and says, buy these stocks, and he tells me when to sell them. And I
That's,
made good money on this guy. Like
that's a
he
good
just
start.
does it out of the kindness of his heart. And then I go
Yeah.
to all my peeps and I say, you need to buy this stock now. I don't care if you put $5 in it. I don't care if you put 5,000.
Yeah.
Buy the stock now. And then I tell people when to sell it.
Okay.
When we become 10,000 strong, my members are going to get that kind of information, right? My members are going to get free bank accounts because I'm going to have so much pull with banks that I'll be able to waive everyone's fee, right?
Okay.
And they'll be able to go into Navy Federal Credit Union or wherever, ENT, and show them the sober dads and get a free account, you know? There will be incentives to be a member. But right now, dude, it's about helping dads who are on that journey of sobriety, who have kids, who have not yet figured out or mastered the art of being present and living with intention. Or maybe
So,
they just want to hang out with fucking cool ass people. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So that's Sober Dads. That's a Facebook page, Sober Dads of Colorado.
Sober Dads is a Facebook page. Sober Dads of Colorado is our group.
Okay. Okay. I got you. All right. So who is Mathew Boulter outside of Sober Dads?
A leader, a father, and you and I'd say a leader and a father right now. Um, I spent a lot of time thinking about who I want to be and a leader and a father. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and
What
it
struggle?
doesn't matter if you're leading two people. Doesn't matter if you're leading 200,000 people.
Yeah.
If I help two people, then I feel blessed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so for
What
me, it's
struggle?
about
Yeah. What struggles do you deal with personally?
man, dude, shit. I fucking think about uh
I like
fucking
this sort of
throwing the
conversation.
towel in almost
This
every
is my
goddamn
meat and
day.
potatoes right here. So,
You know, I think about throwing the towel in almost every fucking day, bro. Like I think the human condition to self sabotage is running rampant in the addictive state of mind, right? Addicts have a condition that we can fucking pull ourselves down from. I bet you could fucking win an Olympic gold medal and be on that fucking podium. And if you're an addict, there is a piece of you that is negatively impacting you at that exact moment. And you have to fucking tell it to shut up.
what do you have to quiet in yourself?
No, I mean just the fact that I'm good enough, bro. Like I'm
Yeah.
good enough, you know?
Yeah.
Um that I have everything that I need. Like I no longer fucking worry about making $1 million. I no longer worry about having Louis Vuitton and a fucking Lamborghini or a big ass dually truck. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like my car has 277,000 miles on it and runs great. I no
That's
longer worry about it breaking down. It is what
good.
it fucking is, you know?
Yeah.
Every day I wake up, somehow I get the money for the things that I need. And do I have extra money to buy frivolous shit? No, but I firmly believe that's the universe giving me a choice. Like, Matthew, do you want to go back to that lifestyle, or do you want to teach yourself how to, how to live, you know?
Yeah.
I made a post a couple of weeks ago. No, last week. And it said something like, I have I created sober dads so I wouldn't be alone. I hate
Okay.
being alone. Okay.
God, I like that. All right.
And I wanted to fucking have a pact of men. I wanted to have a fucking wolf pack, bro. I wanted to
Yeah.
have, if a civil war hits or World War III, I want to be able to fucking call my wolf pack and fucking go to a shelter and literally protect all of us because we stand together with the same values.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I don't like a lot of what Andrew Tate fucking stands for, but that motherfucker has brothers that will fucking die for him. And you cannot fault that man for being so family oriented
Yeah.
that those motherfuckers, you
I
cannot pick a fight with one of them. You will have the entire fucking pack. And that
I
is
have to
beautiful.
say, let me speak on Andrew Tate for a quick second because that gets more into my area a little bit. So Andrew Tate, he has a good message. A lot of it is a very good message. A lot of it is a lot of red pill stuff. I actually ruined one of my relationships by listening to Andrew Tate. So
Yeah. Oh, bro. Yeah.
I watch that shit every fucking night, bro. Just ran my relationship into the fucking ground. So
Yeah. No,
so
I
he's got
love it. I love him.
I
But
like
you
the way he
gotta.
talks about men. I like how
Mhm.
he gives men a mission, and I just think some of that stuff you have to take with a grain of salt. So
Yeah, I mean, dude, you listen, bro. He's like I told you, I got so much fucking respect because he literally tells men, he said, listen, what the fuck is your problem? Stop being a fucking idiot. Find
yeah,
three guys, buy a house, live in that house, push each other to be the best you guys can be, pull in all of your fucking money and create a goddamn empire and use each other. And
well,
dude, that's like the smartest thing fucking ever, bro.
no,
Like, I can't
bro,
afford a house right now, but if I went in with three other guys, we could fucking have a we could have a house.
you know from an evolutionary perspective, okay. So this is something that guys are missing these days, I believe, is that what we used to do. The women would stay in the village, and we would go out to war parties.
Yep.
So we would go to war, and we were fighting side by side each other, and we made each other stronger that way. And now I think what the way society is going now in that regard, I think we're going in the wrong direction. There's too many things. Everything's too easy. Too many dopamine rushes. There are too many things softening guys up, and we're not getting together anymore and fucking raiding villages metaphorically.
Nah, yeah, I mean, dude, it's you, and that's not entirely true, bro. There's a whole class of men, and they're usually very successful and very wealthy.
Okay.
That it's usually the uneducated. It's usually the lower middle class. They don't have the education. They've been told their whole lives, do things on your own. You're not a fucking man if you need help. Oh, you should be able to support your family on your own. You shouldn't fucking ask for it. It's like, no, dude. Like, bro, the fucking Vikings would go in five strong. They literally always had five brothers. Watch
Yeah.
every Viking movie there is. Watch fucking Lancelot. Watch any of them. He
Yeah.
had his pack of boys and
Yeah.
they slaughtered motherfuckers. They went
Yeah.
into a room and controlled it. They went on
Yeah.
the battlefield and ran it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
think I
want
do.
I want my five motherfucking men, bro. Like, that's why I started Sober Dads.
All
I want
right.
to walk into a fucking crowd and that motherfucking crowd can't touch us. We literally own that bitch. We
Yep.
don't have to be assholes, right? We can help
Yeah.
fucking the grannies cross the road. We can help the ladies with their luggage.
Yep.
We could fucking, pick the little kid up that fell while they were running past us. Like, we can be fucking men. But
I think that's probably one of the truest examples of a man is that you can be with your kids. You get your nails painted. I had girls, so they'd paint my nails, but I would still walk out my door and I could crack a fucking dude's jaw. Like,
bro, dude, if
I think you need that duality as a man.
it it would be probably one of the coolest feelings in the world for to be able to grow my sober dads community. Check this out. This would be so cool. To have like a solid 30, 40, maybe even 50 guys that are going to all the events, right? Just
Yeah,
like a solid there's 100 members in the group and 30 to 50 of them just always got together, bro. We were that fucking large, right? And on a fucking Saturday, we grabbed all of our girls and did a daddy daughter day, right?
that's
The
what I'm
boys
talking.
aren't here right now, okay? So the
Yeah,
sons, we'll do something with the sons another day. This is daddy daughter day, okay?
yeah,
And we fucking wake up early. We take them to breakfast. We're all wearing our dresses and our suits.
yeah,
And after breakfast, we go get our nails done and we have pedicures and manicures, right? And then afterwards, we take them to the fucking ballet. And you
yeah,
got a bunch of fucking men,
yeah,
30 with kids, so that's
yeah.
at least 60 people walking into the ballet, and every fucking man has his fucking nails painted, maybe some blush or some makeup on because the girls are just like, Dad, let me. And we don't give a fuck, bro.
I've
And you got
always,
all these fucking men looking at you
I've
like,
always,
what is going on? But
I've
not a
always
single
loved.
fucking man would ever even say anything because we are 30 strong and they
Yeah,
don't want anything to do with it.
I've always loved that duality. And I think a lot of men miss that duality. I think that a lot of men think I think they get the wrong idea of masculinity somewhere along the way. Because I think true masculinity, you have that duality. Because if you think of a true masculinity, the way I look at it is you're here to serve. You're serving your family, you're serving your community, and you're protecting. So I think a lot of people get the wrong idea of what masculinity looks like. But
Bro,
I think it's always
nowadays,
got duality to it.
yeah, I mean, dude, these boys think the louder you are, the tougher you are.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's yeah,
listen, man, there ain't no such thing as a fair fight. Like, I am quiet, and if shit hits the fan and I know I'm going to prison, I'm stabbing you 19 times with the knife I have in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like,
and let's talk about this duality. So you just said that, and I hear you just wrote a book.
yep, yep.
What tell us about your book? Because I gotta tell you, when I found out you wrote a book, I had a little bit of a man crush on you. I saw your
Dude,
fucking post, and I was like, this motherfucker who wrote a goddamn book.
so it's poetry, right?
Okay,
So like
poetry.
this is what goes in my head. Like, and I actually, I write about shit like, I mean, the men these days, right? The population these days, like, you don't need to be afraid of the guy that talks really loud. You need to be scared shitless of the guy that's quiet in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And when I see men quiet in the corner, they're the ones that I first go up to and,
yeah,
relate with and start having conversations with because they probably have a lot of truth and a lot of knowledge that they can spit at you. You know what I mean? And they're probably real, and I love that. And so the poetry is everything in my head, bro. I can get out, like whether it's good or bad or like it talks about romance, it talks about ups and downs, it talks about my sobriety. It's called The Sober Thoughts of a Romantic Bodybuilder.
okay.
And the cover looks like I grew up with my mom reading romance novels all the time, bro. So you'd
Women
fucking
love
pick up the book, and the
yeah,
fucking dude would be like a 6-pack guy, with fucking Goldilocks hair, and
Yep.
on the back of a shiny horse or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like romance novels. You know what I mean?
Those are
Um,
high sellers with women though. That's
oh,
the way
bro.
women operate.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So all of the pictures in the book are exactly what my mom used to read.
Okay.
They're bodybuilders in the gym, fucking shirt off, fucking muscles gorging. Um, and it's all the thoughts of a fucking romantic bodybuilder, bro. The sober thoughts, the thoughts that I'm not worth it, the thoughts that I am worth it,
Yeah.
the different relationships. I have 5 volumes that I'm gonna bring out. I
Okay.
just got the first one. It's on Amazon in the ebook section. I
Okay.
am hopefully going to get the paperbacked version released in the next month. Okay, but you can get for $7.99. You can buy
The ebook.
the electric. The electric is it electric or
Yeah,
the
I think it's just ebook, like
the
e-commerce.
ebook?
Yeah,
Yeah,
ebook.
yeah.
Like
Okay. So the
so it's
ebook.
narrated. So it's not
Yeah,
narrated, but you read it on your phone, right?
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly,
Got
exactly. You just don't get a copy, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully the copy version will be out in the next month. But
Okay.
you'll literally, bro, like I'm fucking all over the place, dude. Like there'll be a fucking poem in there that I met, and I met the girl of my dreams, and then 4 fucking poems later, it's this fucking dumb bitch. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's all over the place, dude.
I
And then
think.
there'll be one where I'm not good enough, and then I'm the best, and it
Yeah.
talks about everything, man. I wanted to. I have so much poetry, but I wanted to be real with my readers because I think from what I've learned in sobriety,
Yeah.
the 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 more um true you are, like the most authentic you are,
That's my
dude,
word right there.
the
Yep.
most authentic you are, the more people will relate to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy that I love the one of the guys from the TV show The Office or something. He's like, he did this skit. I think it was on SNL or something. He's like, how you take your shit and sometimes you wipe and it's still there and you wipe again. He's like, after your ninth wipe, it's still there, and you're like, where is it? You know what I mean? Like authentic,
He's
like
just
that,
like
bro.
wiping a marker. He's
Yeah,
like
dude,
he's just
just like
wiping a fucking marker. I think
yeah,
that's
bro.
marker, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just be your authentic self. So that's what this poetry is all about. It's 30 poems in each book, and it expresses what life has
Okay.
been like for me.
Some of the men have done some of the greatest things ever from heartbreak. Heartbreak can actually spur men to some pretty fucking great heights.
Bro, I
So
think it's actually pain that
it's
I mean, every fucking
nothing.
story we listen to, bro, there's
Yeah.
always been pain, right? I mean, in every superhero, Goliath versus wait, what is it? Goliath,
David and Goliath.
David and
But I'm not
Goliath.
sure if
I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure if that one. But
it's
yeah,
always been pain, bro. It's like every amazing story. It's like there's got to be heartache for you to pull through. Like it's true though. I mean, think about it. We are in sobriety, and how many kids do you know that grow up with a silver spoon and that honestly do some of the most amazing things? I'm not saying they're not out there, right? There
yeah,
are some amazing kids that have trust funds, that have started foundations, that have helped millions,
yeah,
right? But that kid still saw some sort of pain or heart. I mean, that kid, that young man, like went to the um, homeless shelters. They went to the third world cities and said, "Oh my God, these African kids don't have water. We're gonna go give these fuckers water." Like There was,
No,
you know what I mean? They just
you
didn't
know,
wake up one day with a silver spoon, making fucking $1 million in their bank and say, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking be known through the ages." You know,
yeah,
like,
no, I gotta tell you, I'm reading a book by Robert Greene. It's called The Laws of Human Nature right now. And it talks a little bit about Martin Luther King and all the great things he did. Well, Martin Luther King never really witnessed any racism. His family was wealthy, but he had empathy. So what brought out in him to do those great things was his dad. He saw what his dad had to go through with kids. He saw the poor people around him. So I think it was down in Alabama, what they had to go through, and that spurred him. So yeah, a lot.
yeah,
I think it can come from a lot of different sources.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, it still was some sort of heartache. I mean,
yeah,
the
it's
guy
pain.
didn't wake up and it was all gold all around him, and he was like, "Oh, let's do so." I mean,
Yeah,
listen, if you're a fucking prince from Dubai, I don't think those guys are doing too many philanthropist type
well,
activities. You know what I mean?
by
They
itself
got,
of itself, I hear. So yeah,
like, I mean, everybody that I know, everybody that has been interesting to read
yeah.
and that has kept my focus have, I mean, shit, fucking look at my son just did a report on Jackie Robinson, the baseball player.
Okay.
He was like the first African American to like be amazing. Like he
Yeah,
literally started the MLB with like, I guess made it okay for black players to be someone. Like he went through shit. Like,
yeah.
but you hear the name Jackie Robinson and most people like know who that. You know what I mean? Like
I knew
to
who it was.
start,
I don't even know baseball. Yeah,
So I feel like, and I tell my sober dads, I'm like, listen, bro, pain hardens. It teaches us, you know. I mean, we can, bro. Are you in Colorado?
I am. I'm in the
Okay.
Springs.
Okay. Yes, you are. So
Yeah,
then, like, we know the people that use pain and victimize themselves, right?
well, yeah, yeah, and
We
I
know
think
that.
that's everywhere.
But but I'm talking about the people being a victim. Your name is never going to be known, not for the ages. I don't know
Yeah,
a single person who has ever stood up and said, name game, whine, 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 cry, 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 the world is against me. Their name might show up for 6 months or a year, but then it fades.
yeah.
Every single person in this great world has suffered, and then through that suffering has bettered themselves and the world around them.
I went through a phase like that where I was a victim for a while. Probably a couple strong years where I was victimizing myself while feeling like a victim the whole fucking time. So I floundered for a while there, and it took me a long time to actually get up on my feet and figure out where to use that, how to use that pain in a beneficial way.
See, I never fucking said I was the victim, but I had therapists telling me I was being a little bitch.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I pretty much I went through some where I was kind of by myself. So it was kind of just then it was me and the needle, then it was me and drugs, then it was me and alcohol. So it was me and different substances, but yeah, they
I mean, it
never had
was all like I was the victim, but I didn't know I was the victim. You know what I mean? But the way
yeah,
I communicated, I was always like, no, I'm fucking right. No, I'm doing my best. I'm trying. But
yeah,
I was still speaking in a way of victimizing myself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I
yeah.
think that is the worst fucking, bro.
Well,
When the
we
people
have a
around
habit of
you,
we have a habit of lying to ourselves a lot anyway. So we sometimes we can be our own worst enemies, and I try to I think I kind of have this idea of what a man looks like, and I have an idea of how to build self-respect as a man. And I think I look at it like this. So let's say, what if I had a bro? And what if that bro said, "Bro, I got your fucking back. I'm gonna be at this restaurant at this time. We're gonna eat lunch." And I'm like, "Okay." And he doesn't show up. And then the same thing happens a couple days in a row. I no longer will respect him or even look at him as a friend. Well, how many times do we lie to ourselves? Kind of in the same fucking way, but we never frame it like that, right?
Hmm.
So how many times have we not shown up for ourselves in that way? Because we would drop that guy in a fucking heartbeat. But we're sitting here doing the same thing to ourselves, standing ourselves up, knowing we know the right path, knowing I think we all have a moral compass, knowing the right ways. So I think that the first thing I had to do was make sure I stopped lying to myself and treating myself poorly.
I think that a lot of that has to do with boundaries too, man. You know, you gotta have, bro. I didn't have any boundaries, dude. Like, you know, when you don't have any boundaries and you don't have a moral compass, you can just be pulled so many different fucking ways, bro. People can use
Yeah.
you like
Yeah.
a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
And
And we're all, yeah. And human nature, we're all kind of self serving. So it's kind of, so what does your dating life look like? While you're running, because you're running sober dads. Sober dads is full time, right? I mean, I'm sure. I think I called you last night. And you were making a run, so
yep, I have a beautiful young lady who same age as me. I'm 43.
okay,
She's around the same age bracket. She's a teacher.
okay,
Um, she has dealt with a huge slew of health problems and just looks at the world in such a this amazing positive light that um, man, we we got together about a year ago. We dated for about 4 months and then we
okay,
split up because we couldn't figure out how to communicate with one another, right?
yeah,
And then five, after about 3 months, I sent her a message and I was just like, I need to get something off my chest. And so I confided in her, right? I let my boundaries go and I had a discussion with her and she felt the same way. And so we ended up meeting at a coffee
walls.
shop.
You
What's
had
that?
some, you had some walls up.
Had some walls up. I dropped those walls. I told her how I felt, and I was just honest with her, man. And I
Yeah,
was like, I don't like how things ended. I would like to have a conversation with you. This is how I feel. And she actually felt the same way. And so we met at a coffee shop and chatted for a couple of hours. And we decided that we both had learned quite a lot from the first go around. We saw the areas that we liked, we saw the areas that we didn't like, we saw the areas in ourselves that we didn't like that we knew we had to change.
okay.
Um, and we are both willing to work on them. And now we've been together for about 2.5 months now. And dude, we're great, bro. I'll say this, man. I am a sex addict on top of all the other fucking drugs and alcohol that I have.
Yeah,
And that was a huge boundary for me. I didn't have any boundaries when it came to sex, right? And she has been this amazing, like, new way of thinking when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah.
for the first time, the relationship is not about it's about intimacy, not sexual relations, if that makes sense.
No,
Like
that does
real
intimacy. Yeah, intimacy is something. It, especially with sex being so cheapened these days. I believe sex has been cheapened to the point that it's hard to find intimacy in sex. Ninety
it's
percent
just
of the time.
it's like devaluized. I don't say I think I'm saying that devaluized or whatever, you know?
It no longer holds a whole lot of value because it's so cheap, and people have
Yeah,
taken emotions out of it.
yeah.
Half the time, there's no even real emotion in there, which can make it so much sweeter. But I'm sorry, I'm totally hogging that. I could preach for 45 minutes on that subject right there, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So
so like
intimacy it entails other things besides sex. Yeah.
intimacy is like for the first time in a long time, it's about intimacy. Um, she is actually Hallie is one of the reasons why I understand what being present truly means. This
Okay.
girl, this girl, this girl literally said, Matthew, the next time I come over and you were on your phone, I am fucking leaving. She's like, I came for you, not for you to be on your phone.
So
And
she's been a positive force in my life.
yeah, man, like, and bro, instead of beating me up about it, this is the type of girl that goes after we did our date night, right? Okay, so she gets there, put your phone away. Okay, put my phone away. This is the type of girl that when it's all said and done and she's about to leave, she goes, How does that make you feel? Like just being with me.
Yeah,
No phone, no
yeah.
technology, no, what do they call it? Sidetracks? No
Um,
like interruptions.
yeah,
No
yeah, yeah,
interruptions.
yeah.
No interruptions. And I was like, that felt incredible. Like, and it did. You know what I mean? Like, straight up,
So
bro. Like, felt
she's
amazing.
helping you. She's helping you out a lot in a lot of different ways.
Bro, like,
Maybe domesticating you a little bit. Yeah,
Like, well, she's a fucking teacher at a school, bro. So she treats
yeah,
me like I'm a fucking 9-year-old with lizard brain, but I need it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I got all love for her, and I even told her I was like, in a lot of ways, I am a fucking 9-year-old with lizard brain.
We we are
You
men.
know,
That's
yeah,
how us men live, bro.
yeah,
We are all evolutionary based. We got that lizard brain going. That's us. That's who we are, man.
yeah.
That's why we need that opposite end of the spectrum right there. So, yeah,
So yeah, dude, she has pushed me. She supports me. Honestly, dude, I didn't think I would meet someone as quickly as,
yeah,
bro. I used to go from one relationship to the next because I don't like to be alone.
yeah.
And over the
I,
course of the 3 years of my sobriety, I had a couple of relationships. They, um, they were good. They each one taught me something.
yeah,
But then I went almost a solid year, and then I met Hallie, and we dated for a little bit. We broke up, and after her and I broke up, bro, I was like, I'm fucking done. Like, this is crazy. This is fucking bullshit. I don't want to be around anyone, lady wise.
yeah.
And then she was always on my mind, and like I said, I reached out and we had a discussion, and now we're back. And bro, it's
Good.
not. It's like, how do you say this? It's perfect, but not without work. You
It's perfect. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly. Yeah,
you
I
don't
understand.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it could be any better with someone else. Like, I heard
Yeah.
this the other day at church. Most people can't commit because they're always wondering what the grass looks like on the other side of the fence.
You know,
So,
we've got a part of our brain that's called induction, I believe. Okay. So say we're looking at a house. Say the trim is green, but the door is big and red. So we will look at that big red door. But what our brain is really seeing and what we're listening is that trim around the fucking door. So we're always negatively biased. And I just read this whole thing about why we're always looking outside of our relationships. And why people have a tendency to do that. And it's literally part of our fucking brain chemistry. So it's yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'll have
it's, and so I tell people that, and they're like, "Oh, it can't be perfect," and I'm like, "But dude, it can. Like,
as
I
long
am
as it's perfect for you. That's all
I
the
am
fucking matters. And perfect for her.
perfectly not content because you don't ever want to be content in life. I
Yeah.
am perfectly happy with this girl because she provides substance, she pushes me, she
Good.
doesn't give up, she communicates, she makes me feel amazing, she touches me and gives me butterflies. I get excited when I hear her voice. Like, it's
Right.
perfect. You know what I mean? It's
Ladies and
fucking
gentlemen,
perfect.
this is a grown man. I like that. That's
Yeah.
us, man. That's beautiful.
Like,
Yeah, I like that.
but it's not without work, you know? And now I fucking understand what these 80-year-old motherfuckers were talking about when they said that they were with their spouse for 60 years. And they were like, not with them because they just had to be, but they were like, because I knew that person. I spent time getting to know that person, and that was my person. And bro, man, that shit hits differently, bro, when you actually fucking sit down and think about that. Like, do you have a person? Yeah. On that note, that's the kids. That's the kids, bro. The
Yeah,
kids are my people. The kids are my people. Those are my people. Those are my people that I take the time to sit down with and get to know.
yeah.
And
So,
that's why Sober Dads is going to be successful because no dad, right? You can have shit relationships, but you have two little people who
yeah,
fucking love you unconditionally. And all you have to fucking do is get to know who they are.
yeah. So, in wrapping up, we were about an hour in. In wrapping up, what is one thing you want people to know about sober dads? Something you have not talked about yet. Is there one
And
thing you
dude,
could
just bro, if you guys want to see who we are, get on soberdads.com. Fill out the information. I'm still building the website. If anybody knows how to build websites and wants to help us out, I would love the help. Uh, you can put your information on there though, and I can reach back out to you. You can also get on Facebook, Sober Dads of Colorado. Join our groups. Just if you guys are interested in coming out, like I said, I have the Rockies baseball game this Sunday. We still have tickets for it. Like it's just all about getting together with dads. My ultimate goal, here's my ultimate goal, to have a 60,000 square foot building, 2 stories. The bottom, the first story, I want it to be my thrift store.
yeah,
I want building materials. I want clothes. I want everything that a dad would want to go and shop at. Like, I want wives to come up to me and be like, "Oh my God, this is the only place, the only thrift store my husband likes coming to, because you guys have power tools and concrete and 2x4s. And what the fuck does he need a 2x4 for? I don't know, but he likes building shit. And this is the only place he wants to come when I tell him we're going to a thrift store." And then on the top story, bro, the second floor is our man cave. I want a gym. I want a kitchen. I want 5 apartments that my employees can not only live at, but we can also have sober dads in need that have a place to stay. I want a library, an entertainment center, a game room, a pool table, ping pong. I want dads to bring their kids and hang out with other dads. I want a place where dads can bring their kids and cook them fucking spaghetti without having to worry about how they pay for it, because we have everything at the kitchen. I want a meeting area where we can talk about investing, building LLCs, starting companies, um, uh, therapy sessions, AA meetings. Like, I
yeah,
want dads to be dads and I want them to have a place to come to. That's the fucking goal. But until we get there, we're gonna
yeah,
fucking hang out. We're gonna do some cool ass
yeah,
shit with one another and just be dads.
yeah. So, what is one thing people should know about Matthew Boulter that you have not spoke about?
Dude, I'm a fucking mess of a person who's constantly learning like everybody else. I get it right and I get it wrong every day.
Yeah,
And it's not about being perfect. We're imperfect people in an imperfect world, but we have perfect opportunities to live life and do it sober, at least for us, right?
So, what is one unique thing about each one of your kids? And then we're gonna wrap it up. One unique thing about each one of your kids that you
My
love.
little man, my son, dude, is this fucking badass when it comes to gymnastics. He's only
Okay.
been gymnastics for like 3 months, and they can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
They just asked him to like go up to another level. This little kid is a
Okay.
badass. And my daughter, oh, bro, this little girl goes to something called Silks. It's like aerial class.
Okay.
Bro, she's the coolest little thing. I don't know if you've seen like Cirque du Soleil, where on there on the silks and they're like
Yeah, I
doing
have.
silk.
That's kind of badass. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, she looks like a little badass when she does that, bro. And I don't think I would ever have seen that. And I actually would never have gotten them into it if I wasn't sober,
Yeah.
because those opportunities never even existed.
So they're
So
reaping the benefits. That's great.
to be able to see them do that is amazing, bro. My son is a lot like me. He's a handful. And my daughter, bro, I don't know how I got so lucky, because she doesn't ever get in trouble at school. She's just the most amazing little sweetheart girl, and it's
You know what
pretty.
they say? You know what they say? Boys are trouble when they're young, and they shape up when they're older, and girls they're good when they're young. But boy, when she get in her teens,
She's 12, so we're almost there.
yeah, keep your fingers crossed. All right,
Yeah.
brother, we're gonna call it a night. I got an early morning. It is good
Cool.
to catch back up with you. We're gonna put the cover of Matt's book everywhere I put this podcast. So the cover of your book is gonna be on all these platforms, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Kevin. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful night. It was a pleasure.
All right, you too, brother. Later.
Later.